of the game. Very important draft here for NewB, who find themselves one game down. And also, by the way, because we know how much they like streaks, they're now 0-3 against Team Secret in a row.
I can't really say anything else than, from my perspective in that game, NewB should feel like they had the right tools to beat Secret, but they played the cards wrong.
But I want to throw this at you. Last time they played, 2 weeks ago, first game, they felt like they had the right tools to win the game. So they redrafted a very similar lineup, changed some positions, and lost again.
I think the difference was that time they got crushed.
Yeah.
Like, this game, they actually didn't just get flat out run over. I think they, in part, got outplayed by Secret, and in part, made the wrong decisions themselves. And it's one thing if you have a game and you're like, you know what, guys, we made some bad decisions, and so we lost. But those last 2 games in their last series was... Like, that was not this caliber.
Yeah.
If that was back then, they would have been trashed this game even harder. So I think they're on the right track. The question is if they can adjust enough going into the second game.
Yeah. Piggybacking on what some of Synderen was saying in the draft last time, there are games that are just going to be avalanche games, right?
Yeah.
And this was one of those games where the early game mistakes by NewB just were so magnified because of the nature of Secret's lineup. I don't think NewB actually played that badly, but Secret were playing a lineup where they were either going to crush the game or it was going to get to a certain point and they were going to run out of gas.
Okay, so bans almost done for the first.
Yeah, same bans for
Puppey,
Secret, which I really agree with.
Oh, they banned the Nature's Prophet. All right. So what was this ban from NewB in the last game? It was Chen. And...
Oh, Rubik.
Rubik, yes.
Yeah. No, they picked it.
No,
they had Rubik.
Oh, no, that's right. They had, so...
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker. Yeah, that was Night Stalker.
The interesting thing here is that NewB, I don't know who won the coin toss in the first game, but this is the second time in a row that Secret are first pick. So NewB are choosing second pick, which I think is not that common right now. And if you do that, you need to be very good at using the 10th pick, I think. In my mind, first pick has advantage in every phase of the draft apart from the last, and then the last pick of the draft is arguably the strongest one overall, so you need to like offset that advantage that the first pick team has built. So this is
identical.
Actually.
This is what they did before with the Veno.
This is 4 straight games.
Yeah, 4 straight games against Secret with the Veno.
I like this opening.
And haven't won it once.
I think it's good.
I like the adjustment to the Shadow Shaman. I think when you lose 3 straight games against the same team with first phase Veno, you just maybe think about doing something different.
I mean, this is a clash of styles again, right? It's kind of the same game, but in my mind, the difference is this time, first of all, Secret has shown the Wisp in the first phase, so now there's more ways for NewB to prepare. And this time, NewB has doubled down on their 5-man. Instead of the Rubik support, they have a Shadow Shaman. So this is a NewB 5-man push strat with, it's kind of, like some people call this the ward strat, where you just put down a lot of wards and somebody on the Secret lineup has to destroy them. So I think for Secret in the second phase, they want a hero that can kill these wards.
Who plays the Night Stalker?
Puppey, always.
Puppey, always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always.
So I was wondering if this might be the one game that you might see a core Night Stalker from Secret, because I feel like even though you said that Night Stalker is not necessarily very good against Veno, I feel like Night Stalker is a lot better against Veno if he gets a few early items.
Yes, but the lane matchup is horrible.
Okay, fair enough.
So if you're playing core Night Stalker against a safe lane Veno, you will get destroyed.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an unplayable lane. There's a lot of melee heroes that have it like that. That's one of Veno's biggest strengths as a pick. I'll be honest with you, I think NewB has a better first phase than Secret this game, and that's pretty uncharacteristic when the first pick team gets in this position. But, you know, last game we liked NewB's draft as well, so let's see what Secret have in the bag this time.
I mean, part of this is they wanted that Wisp, obviously, and they feel like it's going to be a second phase ban.
10 seconds.
I think Secret were not expecting this opener from NewB, and then when they saw it, they were like, okay, if we pick our classic Rubik here into this Venomancer, our 5-man fight will be too weak, but we will have to take it. So instead they just decide, all right, we play split again. But this time they don't have the Nature's Prophet, and that was a really integral part of their last draft to be able to do this. So.
Here, and here, this is a really good pick because NewB take the Ember Spirit away from Secret. The SCCC, by the way, is up there.
Oh,
He's one of the top.
Yeah, one of the most enjoyable things earlier this year was watching him play on the Ember.
And Secret just banned one of the worst lane matchups for Ember themselves. I think Secret wanted it, and now that Monkey is out of the pool, then NewB feel more comfortable taking this Ember. It's pretty interesting, because Ember Spirit, in my mind, is one of the least flexible cores. It almost always has to play mid. It can technically play safe lane. It's awful off lane, and it cannot play support. So it's one of those few heroes that some teams will actually pick third, even though it's very restrictive. That says a lot about how strong they value, how highly they value the hero. Legion's good in lane.
Yep.
Duel is good.
I think I actually like Legion quite a bit as a counter to Ember Spirit.
I think it's solid. There's a couple of supports that NewB can consider here. If they want something to deal with the duel for a Kaka hero, they want some sort of a targeted stun, so they can at least buy time. I was thinking save heroes like Vengeful Spirit, Ancient Apparition, or not Ancient Apparition, Winter Wyvern, Shadow Demon, but I don't think they can pick those heroes. It's Faith playing the Shadow Shaman. So.
And of course, Legion crushes Veno as well with the Purge.
I actually don't know how that lane goes. I think Legion draws, which is good.
No, I mean as the game goes on.
Itself, it's a good hard purge for sure. It's good. It's definitely a good choice here. It gives Secret a catch to allow them to use relocate. So I think this Legion commander will be given a good lane this game. I think Secret want the Legion to get a blink or a Shadow Blade, so that they can find the Ember and relocate in. And then we're going to see an IO partner picked as the 4th, probably. Since Secret have to pick 2 heroes in a row anyway, so they might as well get the important core with the IO first, in case it would have been banned. We are taking some time to think about this. Should be a Kaka hero here.
Assuming FATA plays it, it's going to be only his 2nd game on Legion Commander. But Secret has been changing things up. That was actually Mid1's first career game on Leshrac.
Yeah. He did very well. YapzOr did very well on the IO as well, so... that was definitely a strategy they had practiced quite a bit, because I think they need to be comfortable on those heroes to win that game. And there's the Kaka Sinking.
Yeah, NewB is going back to their guns here, picking a more classic lineup. The Faith, Shadow Shaman, and Kaka Sinking. One of the more iconic support duos in recent memory in Dota 2.
This Radiant lineup is so good with Veil.
It really is.
There has to be a Veil coming out. Either the Ember will buy Veil or the Venomancer will buy Veil. Gonna see what Secret's response to this is. So, Sand King against Night Stalker. I like to look at the game and imagine the fours playing against each other in the early game, because I think that's generally what drives aggressive moves, is the fours. Sand King is a somewhat slow 4. He's okay in the first few minutes, and then he kind of needs to catch up and get that Blink Dagger and get the level 7. And that means the first night time, this Night Stalker is largely uncontested by the opposing 4. It's very difficult for Sand King to get the jump. He has short range, he has worse vision. But there's a Veno. And I think that's the kind of, I don't want to call it the saving grace, but I think it's just a strong pick this game. The Venomancer, I'm still really feeling it against the NS.
And you're talking about in the early game, but I think even as the game goes on, that interaction is significant, because the Veno is going to provide the vision that the Sand King needs to get into those fights. Like Night Stalker actually used to be a much harder counter to the Sand King than he is right now, because once you got that Agnibs up, you have the unobstructed vision through the tree, so there's nowhere for Sand King to like set up and hide to channel the Epicenter. But if you look at pro Sand Kings over the last 8 months or so, pro Sand Kings are really much more about the burrow strike now. If you can hit multiple multi-man burrows in a fight, it's just a lot better. Okay.
So
the cheese stands alone.
The thing that's interesting about this is that this is a really, really good Hoelgaard game. Like, Hoelgaard has 2 natural saves. He has the IO and the Legion backing him up. He has good enemy matchups, but the problem is this is a really bad Night Stalker game now, because he's against Venomancer and he does not play with his own lineup very well. So basically what has ended up happening now is that Secret have adjusted their lineup, and Puppey will be probably the least impactful hero in the game. I'm almost going to call it right now. Hoelgaard is played one way. It's a one-dimensional hero. It needs a good start in lane, it needs to farm up the armlet, and it needs to start 5-manning and pushing towers and taking Roshan. Night Stalker can give vision, but he can't teamfight very well. And the problem is the enemy team has ways of getting vision. So that one advantage that Night Stalker has is a bit kind of offset. So I'm wondering here if Secret are trying to be a bit too cute. Like, the Hoelgaard pick is amazing against all of the Radiant heroes. It's super good. But the 10th pick is with NewB.
Yes.
They can try to twist and solve this in the end. I wonder if Secret are going to ban a core AA as an option.
And the thing is, right, like, Wisp Husker is good. I'm not going to denigrate that, but they don't have like a hard save that keeps Husker in the fight. They don't have a Dazzle. They don't have an Oracle. And Mugi is really good. If you look at his pool, he has so many physical burst heroes in his pool that he's very, very good with. He still has the Ursa. He still has, you know, Weaver, Bloodseeker. A lot of heroes that can do that physical damage to Husker when he gets low on health. Secret continuing that theme of mobility across the map.
So Secret did ban the AA. I like that you pointed out Ursa. I think it's a super good pick here. He has a good core matchup against the Legion in lane. He has a good core matchup against the Underlord in lane. It's a Mugi comfort hero. It's a hero that can kill the Husker. It's a hero that can kill the IO. And I don't know. Like, this is weird because I look at the Secret lineup and I see like 2 lineups within it. And generally, that's a bad sign. But the Huskar right now is so damn good that it might still work.
Yeah.
So I really want this last pick for NewB. The fact that they have chosen second pick, it needs to pay off right now. Just get a really solid pick for solving this problem. Ursa was one choice we mentioned. I don't think Mugi... Does Mugi like PA? PA
is really good, but I don't think he plays it as much. The thing, like, where's Secret Stun?
They have Duel.
Right. I mean, they just don't have very much. I mean, they have Pit, they have Duel. You know, Void's a mini stun, but yeah, there's the Ursa. I really, when I saw these first picks first 4 picks by Secret, I really thought you were going to see that Mugi Ursa. He's got the burst damage potential. Still, if I hadn't seen that first game, I'd once again call NewB based on the draft. I just like the way that Secret played in that first game so much better.
I think this time NewB's draft is better against Secrets than it was in the first game. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say this time they're going to play better. So
how many more times do they have to pick Veno against Secret before you're convinced that they can't do this?
I don't think Veno is the problem. Okay. That's the thing. I don't think that.
Veno's actually pretty good in this game.
So
I think I have to flip flop and go with Secret. I'm so much more confident in their execution now after seeing that first game. And Kaka, I know he can execute on Sand King, but Sand King is just not nearly the hero that he was a few months ago. I think Secret closes it out here.
Okay, so 1 for Secret. And are you sure you want to stick with NewB? Fourth time.
He looks pretty sure to me.
Yeah.
Fourth time the charm.
I mean, I believe in them. They can do this. I think this time, so to give a little bit more background on it, this time their lanes have to be better than the first game. This time they've actually counterpicked lanes. The Ursa has super good matchups. They have solid game plan overall. If their execution is a little bit better than the first game, I think it's good enough. I don't even think it needs to be that great. It just needs to be good.
Okay.
NewB has to deliver good, right? Like, they can at least be good.
They can. We know that much. Okay, 1 for NewB, 1 for Secret. Reminder for you at home, if you're just joining us, Secret 1-0 up on the verge of making the semi-finals. Can they close it out in Game 2? Let's find out.
You know, I love the expectations that come from that panel. Cinder and NewB, it has to be better, right? Like, it has to be better than last game. What do you think? You weren't too sold, Ben, on the Venomancer.
I'm just not sold on the offlane Venomancer for NewB in particular, just because I don't really view them as a greedy team. And I think Venomancer offlane is generally pretty greedy, because normally he plays Tide Hunter, Bat Rider, something like that. And even if it's a more farmy hero, it's something that still has a lot of team fight, like Omni.
This might be a better way to start. They're actually in a good position for... Okay, now they're in a bad position for a fight, because they can get wrapped around the back of, and Underlord has the high ground, so NewB find that opening. We'll come back to your thoughts. Nope, Puppey scouts it out, and this gank is not happening from NewB. Sorry, back to your thoughts.
Yeah, so if KP is playing Venomancer, it's really just Kaka moving around. That is it. But at least they have a more active 2 position this game in the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit can run around very early on in the game. Doesn't even need bots or any items to start getting kills early in the game. However, he is up against some very, very long disables in the Crippling Fear. Silence is Ember's worst enemy, and Duel, of course, with his low armor, also very, very problematic. But I do like this draft a little bit more for them. I don't think they were expecting an IO first phase, however. So I think they probably thought, okay, we can get away with it in the second phase ban if we want to. And then they picked the first phase because Secret is good at drafting. And now they're like, we don't have a great way to deal with the Wisp this game.
At least they only have to deal with one global, because they banned out, then they just profit in the first 2. That's what they took over, banning something like the IO.
So it is, but this game they don't have solutions to kill the IO at all. Last game they had the... Oh, yeah.
Are they actually so they're sacking KP into the mid lane against the Huskar?
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not a bad choice. Burning Spears don't work on the wards, so he's going to actually have a little bit of trouble, but I don't really think you're going to be able to kill Ace. And Ace is that disgusting Meepo Broodmother Huskar player. That's him. That's a good thing this patch. I say disgusting in a good way.
No, there's nothing good about it. Puppey and Kaka trading blows as mid one moves over. Kaka, not too healthy. They have faith in the neighborhood. But the question is just how hard mid one wants to fight this one. With YapzOr coming in, a quick Burrow Strike just creates space more than anything for Kaka. But this also is now giving freedom for the Ember Spirit on the bot lane. They're dragging supports down to the bottom lane as well. So Team Secret are having to let this Venomancer Huskar just play out in the mid lane, which is going to be better for NewB in a way that KP is actually going to get levels and be able to do something with his level 2 Plague Wards in the lane. Kaka, be careful.
This is one of the few times I've seen SCCC not play mid. So that's cool. We see more and more teams experimenting, and you don't want to experiment with like heroes that you, because the patch is going to hit soon, and then you're going to have these heroes that are going to be buffed and nerfed. So you want long-lasting changes. So SCCC being able to play multiple lanes, that's a long-lasting change. That's something that can last patch to patch. Same with YapzOr playing Wisp. That is also something that can last patch to patch. So I do like the way that the teams are exploring the tail ends of 7.06F instead of, let's say, I don't know, playing like a mid-tier hero that might not get touched at all. But it's like, oh, it's new, right? But it's not going to really serve you that well come next patch.
Well, Kaka's got himself an action rune. Maybe they can make a play onto Ace. The Burrow Strike will be available. They're waiting it out to do as much damage as they can. And this will allow NewB to get the first spot on Ace, who is left all by his little lonesome. No IO nearby to help out. Ace will still get the revenge thanks to Burning Spear, so Kaka falls. But the damage is done, and it's more of the space created for the mid lane. Slowing down that momentum that can come with the Huskar.
Yep. YapzOr not there. That's the thing about YapzOr, though. You know he's generally not going to be sitting behind people, just because it's generally not his playstyle. He's way more of a greedy player, and he's not that like 5% that sits behind heroes. So they can make that move. Normally, you'd be super afraid to make that move. Burrow striking in on a Huskar is generally just death if there's an IO in the game.
Moogie. He needs that movement speed. Thanks to the slow from the clap, he's going to have it. FATA will end up dropping.
This is what the panel was talking about. Great one-on-one matchup. Ursa against pretty much any lane is going to be completely fine. Maybe the IO Huskar, he might be in a little bit of trouble. But even then, he can just bring the supports, and they still have a lot of kill potential.
They're scanning to see where everyone is. Kaka.
Just wasting FATA's time.
Yeah, pretty much. So FATA has to hold back. He's waiting probably for the 4-minute rune as well.
Yep. I love that play though. It's like, is he AFK? He's playing like he's AFK. Let me check if he's AFK. Nope.
just warming up the hands, that's all. But the Huskar's still getting some really good CS in the mid. Like it's 24-4 to the 16-6. KP's now going to just turn this whole lane into Plague Wards, looking for him to deny those wards, however. It's actually one of the easiest things to do with the Plague Wards. Like, attack it now. Nope. He's just, alright, cool. Not going to do it. But you got to stop Ace from getting the easy experience and money that those wards are worth. I contest something, but the Plague Wards, it's like he's just microing them instead.
Let's see it later. How much gold has he fed?
Yeah, we had those stats. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Shackles are out. Initiations from NewB, so mid one in trouble with the overwhelming odds. He's got enough movement speed to get back to the tier 1 tower quite safely. All of NewB was nicely gathered up to give the extra buff.
Not working.
You'll have to reload it.
I don't know how to.
I'll help you, bro.
Okay, thank you. Great. All this time YapzOr is there, sitting behind FATA. Moogie still not really in danger of dying. I think you're only really worried about dying if the Night Stalker is there. But Night Stalker is wrapping around. He could be in a pickle.
And if they can actually get the control on him. Now Moogie slapped up. Void was already used, so he starts his TP very quickly. The burn won't be enough, so TP back to base will be successful. The gank from Team Secret will end up failing.
Very prepared, that guy. Nicely played, Moogie.
We don't have our information. It's crashed. All right, Shackles on bottom. Hold him in position, mid one. This seems to be a nice little repeat of before. And the Searing Chain's trying to cancel his attack out, but press the attack away. YapzOr arrives once more, and mid one survives again.
Not really necessary for him to cast Chains right there. I think he only casts Chains after he uses press the attack, or else this is going to get instantly purged, and he needed that heal to survive. So I guess they just thought he was low enough to be able to die without it. Value press the attack right there. Value.
Dire are scanning.
And any way to break free. Press the attack was one of the abilities we're highlighting as being critical against heroes like Venomancer, even if he's not in the lane.
Very good versus Shadow Shaman too.
I swear, like KP right now is like he's just building a wall. That's all that's happening here in the mid.
You want to stall versus Huskar. It's kind of similar to last game in where the timeline you win this game is like 30+ because Huskar just is not that strong later in the game. But Huskar is also matched up versus
yeah, this is a nice wraparound. Kaka's with a level 2 Embarrass Strike, so he's got the range to get the stun. The problem is, like, with just Faith and Kaka, they do nowhere near enough damage to kill an Underlord.
Who are they looking for?
Maybe they're looking just to get an aggressive ward out. Actually, they already have that behind the tower.
No, they just placed it.
Okay, so...
They were, but it was actually 2 heroes there. Normally, you don't expend 2 heroes if you're actually just looking to place a ward. Oh, they were looking to wrap around T1, get a kill on Underlord, and get a kill.
That's if FATA was going to be in the lane, not farming up in the jungle with Puppey.
Yeah, they weren't exactly sure where it was. But they're still set up to do so, right? They're still set up for that. Yeah. Kill the offlane into T1 push.
Yeah, that aggressive ward will watch Puppey's rotation, probably more importantly than anything else. As like right now, YapzOr moves in to help out Ace in the mid, like clap clap, that's wonderful. But like unless Puppey comes in, that's not going to be a kill. And they just moved the SK in, so Kaka just trying to be more of a pain than anything else. He's got good vision, and Puppey's looking for the Observer Ward, and he's expecting the default one. And that's why he drops the sentry, but that does not help him at all. Not unless Kaka wants to try and like sandstorm in front of him, and then he'll have a way to fight this. Kaka gonna Burrow Strike. There is no follow-up, but he's gonna grab the 8-minute bounty rune. But other rotations, it's YapzOr. A quick tether through, gets a slow for just a fraction of a second. Kaka keeps the run going. He's got Burrow Strike available. They're not going to drop a secondary sentry for this. So Kaka can just sit here for 45 seconds, wasting both the time of YapzOr and Puppey.
And he has Trinks.
Okay, he's pulled 3 heroes in for this one. You're right, the Tranquil Boost. He's just regenerating through it all. Burrow Strikes onto the hillside, starts his TP, and gets back out. Man, that was quick.
Wow, that is some time wasted. Holy cow. Sentry down, stole bounty, and 3 heroes wasted their time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Team Secret, like what are you going to be achieving in this time anyway? Like, you're looking for something out of the lanes, but when does Team Secret look to push or look to force a fight? Is it even forcing a fight?
I would say 12 minutes. 12 minutes is when you start getting everything. Nighttime, darkness, and nighttime, darkness on the Night Stalker. Wisp with Relocate should be around that time, and Huskar can fight anytime, but I don't think his teammates are really ready yet. And you do want to fight a lot with this lineup. You want to get a lot of dual kills so you can start scaling. You want to be able to pressure them into fighting the Huskar.
Kaka, he feels so much more comfortable on this hero. SCCC gonna get the Syrian chains off. He was wondering about the press, the attack. That's why they're waiting a spirit commitment forward. Kaka, that Burrow Strike. How long until it's gonna be back up again to attack into mid one as he runs around the tree line? Still got the distance, but Kaka behind him. That level 2 Burrow Strike doesn't have the range just yet. In fact, he'll just go inside the sandstorm and then just stop moving. So, waiting for mid one to come back, and another aggressive Observer Ward planted. Meanwhile, up at top, it looks like they're preparing to attack into Mugi. But it's Ace and YapzOr with Faith watching by.
The best way to deal with the Huskar is actually not to fight the Huskar. It's actually not a great tower
okay,
seeker.
Well, they're just going to fight him anyway. They have that bonus damage with the Hex. Ace, one more attack from Mugi. He enrages up. He still needs to close the distance and just armlet toggle. Mugi begins his own TP out before FATA, who just ultied in, could get the stun.
I mean, they're like picking at him, but they're not actually like full-scale engagement onto the Huskar. Because they have a lot of ways to buff him up too. Between the Wisp and then the press the attack, damage mitigation from the Underlord too.
Can Kaka and Faith actually defend this? They have to bring somebody else in. You already have the TP of the Ursa back, so yeah, they have to bring someone else, and it's KP. The Pit of Malice catching all 3. The Shackles are there as well. All they're trying to do is hold Huskar there, but this will now allow FATA to attack and attack hard until Mugi arrives, and you'll really see who attacks harder. Mid one, he wants a target. He cannot see Kaka. Ace is slowly ticking down, trying to armor toggle his way through this with the Burrow Strike. He's being supported by YapzOr, but that support is still not enough. YapzOr into the trees. They veil him up, but YapzOr's run north. They don't see him, but he's slowly ticking out to the Poison Sting with a buff up from the Veil. YapzOr was a guaranteed kill, so they started looking for the fourth kill. Secret lose 3 under that tier 1 tower, which did fall in the process.
Ace is just not respecting the Ursa at all. I think he is pretty big and bad, and we saw him destroy everybody, but as soon as the Ursa comes in and FATA just dies, he's like, yeah, I'm okay, right?
They're gonna get that deny on bottom lane. Mugi and KP are kind of like cramping the top lane, so yeah, FATA, with the help of the Pit of Malice, he's able to keep the distance of the Ember Spirit up, so denial on the tower. Not as much money, but still a 2k gold lead for NewB. 12 minutes in, and this is the time when you said like Secret were looking for something. They were a minute earlier. And Puppey, maybe he can do something here. Still got the nighttime. Okay, he can't do anything here. Nighttime wears off.
He had I believe 7-minute armlet, and he's farmed very little gold after that.
They're showcasing themselves around Roshan. A fantastic observer board.
Dude, Kaka's hilarious. Just the way he's playing. He's just sitting right in front of them a lot of the time, just taunting them to go on him. It's very funny to watch. Just him sitting there.
The only thing that makes it better is, oh, actually, Courier snipe. Puppey's trying to make a play for it in the back lines. Courier, this time, oh wait, Puppey. Okay, well, he's inside the base, but NewB are happy with this. Puppey, you can do all that kind of jazz. You can burn your Hunter of the Night because they're doing Roshan with Mass Serpent Wards and the buff up that's there from the Ursa.
Oh, Hoelgaard not getting Rosh.
Yeah, but it's Hoelgaard versus an Ursa who's had a pretty decent early start.
The thing is, he needs his halberd ASAP on the Hoelgaard. You need that just as soon as possible versus Ursa. And then he enrages, you halberd him, he runs away, then you kill him because he has no enrage and he can't attack. So it's pretty simple, right? But he's actually way less farmed than I thought he would be, considering the easy mid lane that he had. That one gank by Kaka actually kind of slowed him down so much to the point where if you're the Hoelgaard right now, you're very, very worried, I would say.
Yeah, they need to get something more out of him. FATA's also not really having that big sustain that you're looking for just yet.
I think they expected like a normal right clicker, and that's why they maybe preemptively drafted the Underlord, because Hoelgaard's only weakness is physical damage. I guess pure damage too, but if you're looking for a position 1, it's usually going to be physical damage that you're looking at. And then he has the Atrophy aura, which is generally pretty good versus that. Can kind of shore up that small weakness of Hoelgaard. But because they pick like an atypical physical damage dealer, it's not looking great.
The duel up on top. Well, this will be the first duel victory of the game, but meanwhile in mid, Ace, he was being surrounded while NewB pushed that mid tower. So a good game for Team Secret to get, but they lose their mid tier 1 tower. And that quick and easy access to Roshan with every tower that falls becomes a lot harder for Secret.
I also like the Vlads over the Mask of Madness on the Ursa. We've seen a lot of Mask of Madness, but we actually haven't seen as much as I expected this tournament. Like Miracle Spectre yesterday didn't build Mask, super common pickup. Mugi also didn't build a Mask. But the Vlads is... The minus armor sometimes is downside. It's not really a big deal this game, I would say. Like, Hoelgaard is just so much magical damage that it doesn't really matter for the minus armor. But it does help your team. I think having the armor on everybody on your team is a really, really big deal, especially when it's not the Ursa that's going to be dueled. You generally want to be able to help you out your team. Mask of Madness does no such thing, although it is very similar in cost. The lifesteal pretty mediocre on everyone else, so we're not really counting that. And I would say the plus damage is also not that useful because a lot of the damage is coming out from wards, which don't benefit from the aura at all. So mostly for the armor for his team, which I do like.
You have your thing back now.
Oh, okay.
You can look up your stuff. All right, so 5-3. It's been a pretty low kill count game for a Hoelgaard and Ursa in it, but we're getting a lot closer to action time.
It was already supposed to be action time. 8 kills in 15 minutes.
Yeah, with this type of draft, it seems
really bad for us.
Mass passiveness, and now Ace is going to go down once more. Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Burrow Strike, KP's going to trigger the ultimate out. I think he knows he's dead from the searing arrows. KP, the TP back, he'll regenerate fast enough.
Notice the way that they approach that fight too. They circle around back behind the Hoelgaard to find the Wisp, and that's a classic maneuver by an IO partner is like you kind of feign that your Wisp is behind you. Normally they don't even go for that gank. They're like, whatever, Wisp is going to relocate him out. But this time, NewB actually take the bait. They go back around. They don't find the Wisp. They're like, okay, this guy's just fake baiting us. Yeah. And they just get a free easy kill because of that.
Yeah, this donated Purge creep is being such a pain in the butt for Mugi. He's trying to escape. Now the Pit of Malice holds him there. Remember Kaka? He actually has that Blink Dagger, but it's underneath the Observer Ward of Team Secret. So Secret already pinged it. They know as well that they're all rotating in, so FATA can back up away from the Mass Serpent wards. Kaka blinked into the Pit of Malice. It does bring FATA back a little bit further. Fortification buys some time. But the top lane, that's where they're going to keep that pressure up. Another Observer Ward being placed right on top of FATA in the mid of the top lane.
YapzOr is really being tested in his Wisp skills this game, though, because he let...
Oh, Kaka. Oh, quick Sandstorm. Nice. They don't see him. Burrow Strike up. YapzOr actually gets mowed down by Mugi. It looked really good to initiate on Kaka.
Oh, and a Sandstorm.
We've seen him baiting runes. Like, he's been short of baiting items, and this time he was baiting himself.
I really do like the way he's been playing this game, though. It's pretty sick to watch. But yeah, the thing about the IO though, I thought he played really well last game, but this game is much different. He let Ace die a couple of times. Normally the Wisp would actually not even be sitting in the place where NewB would be sweeping around. He'd be actually sitting super far north in the trees, so you don't have a chance of dying. They have to get through the Hoelgaard to get through him. But yeah, they're not really utilizing this combination.
SCCC. He's not going to see Ace. Ace was thinking about turning around for the life break mid one. A quick jump in, and once again, Kaka. So quick on the Sandstorm invis.
Yeah, you have to, like, I don't even know what you do now. Before you had preemptively dust, but it doesn't matter. He can just blink out. You'd have to like press, you have to throw out your overwhelming odds first, and then blink, and then dust, and then get the dual lock before he even stuns. So he's not really a juicy target for you. Kaka.
Yeah, that's what we need.
What a joker.
For the runes gathered. Now we actually got, like, you actually want to, Rune of double damage. I believe we even have that. So that's how many runes he's managed to gather. 14 so far. We'll hide it as Kaka makes the most out of one of them, jumps in with Mugi. He's going to end up falling really quickly.
Oh no, that relocate was way too late.
Oh, there's two gone. Unless mid one can turn this around, KP looking to come high ground. There's a quick attack, Kaka with the Burrow Strike again. He is so fast, so good. The shackles, I was able to tether with the shackles holding him there and the Syrian chains, plus the epicenter boot. Puppey's TP will be successful. The Secret are going down one after the other.
Dude, Kaka is just completely styling on them this game. It's actually insane how much he's outplaying them. He had a Sentry Ward down there. Mid one's like, oh yeah, this is a free dual kill, right? He's a free dual, and then he just Burrow Strikes. He's like, okay, they probably had detection this time. I'm just going to use my other no cast point ability. This is why I talk about cast points a lot. Like, no cast point versus no cast point, it's generally who has the faster reflexes. But cast point versus no cast point, like, even if you're faster as mid one, he always still have a, 0.3, 0.4 seconds to react as a
bottom lane.
Kaka.
They're wrapping around Team Secret, but the Plague Wards are everywhere. NewB should know what's coming, but then again, the three of them sit in the Pit of Malice. They instantly kill off FATA, and Ace, they get gunked up. The Nova's on him. The quick in for the duel. At least they'll find one pick off, and it is the Ursa to die. But mid one having to run away from SCCC. Doesn't have a lot of help thanks to the fact that Faith was shackling up Ace. They Burrow Strike him down. Ace is a non-factor, and YapzOr is an afterthought. Team Secret, they lose everybody, and KP calling the well played. And thanks, congratulate yourself. Team Secret haven't called GG just yet, man.
They have missed the timing. Hoelgaard Wisp is, generally a pretty safe auto win versus a heavy magic damage lineup, which is what they had.
Yep.
But
then the Ursa pick.
Yeah, but they know that Mugi plays Ursa, so they actually weren't scared of it. That's the thing. I think AA wouldn't have had nearly the same impact as an Ursa pick this game.
And if they picked up AA, it would have forced like KP in order to play like the 3-position SK, the Venomancer 1 position. That's fine. It would have messed up all the names of all the lanes of NewB where the magical damage is in their cores still. Yeah. Rough 5th pick. Rough on the 5th. But Team Secret, they still look to be very happy to try and get aggressive.
Yeah.
Puppey combining with mid one, and SCC shows himself pretty clearly. He's got no way to block a quick jump in duel, but doing this, that's one way to do it. Keeps the distance.
See, that's the next level play by Secret too. They weren't actually trying to jump him. They were trying to wait at his remnant.
These guys looking to jump. Ace, hello, and goodbye. You do not survive. Oh, okay. Okay, you do survive. YapzOr hits the relocate. A lot more TP was on the way. Puppey is rotating off the top lane, so Mugi gonna find him, but a stolen haste rune means the Puppey is definitely away.
How are they gonna stop these Roches though?
Oh, what's your big AoE? It kind of is just the Underlord and overwhelming odds.
But those don't do anything versus the wards. So they can just mass plague wards and serpent wards inside the pit, and Ursa is not going to care. They do have a problem with maybe the Ursa gets kited later. I think Underlord is really good at doing that.
But with Kaka being on point as he is, like right now the fight's over before you can even start beginning to think about kiting. Mugi's going to go for Roshan once more. They have a Radiance as well onto the Ember Spirit, so even like the Blink Dagger of Legion Commander might become a little bit more difficult to use, depending on where the Ember is jumping.
Huskar only has Armlet and Halberd. Oh, that hurts. Because Huskars usually want to be like T2's down usually right now, and then poking at the high ground with like Aegis and a couple other items in tow. But because the early games went so poorly, he had his Armlet at a really good time, but then they just never really played around it. This entire lineup should be based around the Huskar. I would say on both sides. Like, you'd be trying to kill him or stall against him, and then Secret trying to play it around him and just have him that like hugely unstoppable tank. Or else, why else would you pick a Legion Commander core? You might as well just pick someone else who can just be more self-sufficient. But I think they wanted like another hero to be able to buff up the Huskar, as well as a one-on-one matchup versus the Veno. I think that was actually one of the plays that propelled NewB into such a big lead.
Mid one, trying to jump away. The pit won't be able to do enough control. Ace, as well as YapzOr, relocate in. So Kaka is low, but he'll still get the double burrow strike off. FATA trying to take Ace to the, I don't know, a different land. Wait, he got him?
What was that? Who forced that?
I don't know who force-stuffed. Was it FATA himself?
Tower is under attack.
He doesn't have one. Somebody from NewB was trying to push.
They were trying to force him out, but he turned at the last second.
Oh boy,
that was almost next level play. Holy crap, who was that? That was Veno.
That's what we label as unintentional awesomeness.
That was almost really close to being really sick. You would have yelled. You would have yelled, Toby.
I would have been excited. Yes.
Puppey. Man, how did he know to turn around too at that point? The force that must have been just very recently picked up.
After we see if Puppey gets out of here, I'd love to see that again in slow motion. But for the moment, oh, okay, we'll get it right now. Puppey's away, so that initiation in, and Ace.
Oh, he was. Yeah, it looked like he like turned around and he did a 360.
Yeah. So he was always facing away, and then like the second he turned away, he then turns back again and soaks the force staff. Faith. Okay, well, Puppey is, after a long trip and an extra observer ward placed, he is away. But your net worth still belongs very heavily to NewB. 12k overall, the top 3 net worths belong to the NewB cause.
That's the dream, just being able to go bots Radiance on Ember. You're like, okay, late game secured, boys.
Yeah, and he's almost, like, he's rapidly approaching that Lincoln Sphere. Kaka gonna find FATA, sees him quickly, mid-one's in the neighborhood. They have pressed the attack, but if mid-one shows himself now, then he is toast, because the rest of NewB has arrived and mid-one cuts his losses. The German is expendable.
You don't want him to be expendable, though, Toby.
Well, in this game, man, like, you don't want to lose both. Right now, FATA's just struggling to survive. He's got the full pipe, he's got the dominated creep. But there's nothing else that follows now after that. And Puppey. Kaka with a burrow strike. Damn, his control's so good, especially now he's got that blink and Yule Scepter. Like, this is the type of control that EG was searching for yesterday out of Universe, and they got for a while.
Senki didn't actually get nerfed that badly. It was just as the level 1 Caustic that got nerfed, I believe. Which is I mean, which is fairly significant considering he was mostly running the 4 role, but if you can get by that hump by stealing all the bounty runes, I think you're okay.
Yeah.
How many bounty runes do you have? What's our...
Kind of stops your 3.
So that's 17 bounties.
Lot for him. Really shows you too that just like an IO who had a bottle. Like that bottle was up by 2 minutes into this game, and you still only were able to grab like 11 bounty runes into YapzOr. That just spells the control of the map. Well, they look to attack top lane now. The reveal's already out, and they're searching for YapzOr with the Plague Ward on the hill. It's holding its attack, forced off in, and get the shackles. TP's coming in from Night Stalker. It's going to take a little bit too long, however, and the Searing Chains a lot more than they can handle. A jump in from Ace. He's going to try and fight underneath the Shrine. Mass Open Wards will surround him, and the shackles. A quick duel victory. They'll burn through the Mass Serpent Wards. SCCC going to come back in once more, keeps the Searing Chains on him, so the Mass Serpent Ward's physical damage can do its work. Spirit up and down, but press the attack. That regeneration, press the attack, and inner vitality, making Ace almost immortal until Kaka yules him up. There's your Dispel. You veil him up as well. Any kind of buff you can get to bring down that Huskar. It works.
That was even without the Ursa.
Yep. The primary physical damage. Everyone else, you see how hard it would be to kill the Huskar if you didn't have the Ursa.
So it's clear that YapzOr knows how to play Wisp, but I don't think the team as a whole has been completely familiarized with how this lineup is supposed to function. Like last game, it looked easy for them because they were, you know, kind of just rolling the whole time. But this game, when they're actually up against adversity, they just have not been able to step up to just simply playing around this Huskar well.
Yeah. And it seems like NewB's also not giving them any real opportunities. Like before, it could be the supports being picked off into the snowball of Team Secret. Kaka's had such a better influence. It's bought then space for KP, who originally was the guy who was being sacked in the mid up against the Huskar. He hung in there.
It wasn't actually being sacked though, because he's a very, very bad matchup versus Legion. Legion is a really good one-on-oneer versus the Venomancer, so that's what you actually expect. That's what Secret expected the matchup to be. So he was already going to suffer on bottom, so why not just put him in the mid where they're not going to be able to get as much.
We're actually flying chickens now. Shackles, Searing Chains. Not the greatest chain there from NewB, but they've got so much damage already that it doesn't matter. Legion gets picked.
Double halberd.
And Puppey's going in deeper again. He's got that aggressive Observe Ward behind the Tier 1 tower.
Ace's signature double halberd build. Most players opt for Solar plus halberd, but he, for some reason, really likes double halberd. I think maybe he just values his strength a lot over the armor. Armor's not super useful. Generally, it's pretty useful, but like,
aren't there better things though that can give you that strength?
Well, then you want more evasion too, right?
Yeah. But there's got to be some better things.
Such as?
I know at this point, like even S and Y. Just anything. Anything.
He already has the MAME. Maybe he wants a double MAME.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, if we're trying to stack stuff, I always thought the best coupling one was actually from Hani, the double butterfly.
Double butterfly's fine. Well, now there's 2 sources. Back when he got it, there was only 1 source of True Strike. Now there's 2. So less value now.
Well, NewB, they're getting control. Just over the northern side of the Radiant map. Team Secret, they're just as 5. It's the only way they believe they can currently fight, and rightly so. Roshan, he's just short of spawning up.
They have like 1 or 2 fights left in them, I would say, before the network lead just becomes insurmountable.
Well, smoke forward, Team Secret, they really want this fight. The Hellfire coming down, NewB knows someone's coming their way. KP's already preparing the Plague Wards for the fight. Kaka, quick Burrow Strike, merely just saying hello to Ace and the Searing Chains in the back line. STC, oh, he baited the pit, jumped straight back out of it. The Nova, it triggers. The Pipe will be able to help him, and FATA, he already knows this isn't going to work. They want to jump back out again, and the easiest way to do that is life-breaking towards Kaka, allowing them to go back as far as possible, all the way to the fountain. really feels like NewB is just styling in front of Secret when they want to initiate.
Well, that's the power of Veno wards. You can't get a clean jump ever. Blink's disabled, Night Stalker's position is revealed, Hoelgaard has to spend his time attacking it too.
And now you do Roshan. Like, Secret backed up, and you just slip inside the pit.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Yeah, that's 3 super easy Aegises for Ursa.
Like, this just seems to be really difficult for Secret to get any kind of like kills at all.
I think people think of Ursa as a hero that like kind of falls off really early too, but I think Hoelgaard even more so.
Especially when it's behind the net worth.
Well, Hoelgaard can't farm that quickly. At least Ursa usually goes Blink, so you can like farm neutrals much faster than Hoelgaard. Hoelgaard, yeah, he can do Ancients very early on, but he just doesn't have the mobility to actually keep up.
Team Secret is still trying to kite. Like, I think there's a lot of Atos coming in for Underlord.
Like, I mean, this
any
SCC's massive though.
Yeah. Well, jump in, Searing Chains, why not? And FATA each time it's just like, do I pit? Do I pit? NewB will break through the mid. They've got the Master 7 wants to help force the issue. This time he does pit onto Mugi. He's only got the Aegis Immortal, no cheese up his sleeve, but they've got Urn charges available. A quick Hex trying to let those Master Serpent wards do the work. They're only focusing on that tier 3 tower. So a Blink Burrow Strike forward. Again, it's more just chip and control than anything else until the opening is there. And it's FATA. They press the attack him out. Mugi! He's in real deep. Jumping up to mid when he wants to kill the Batches there. Kaka with basically a Ravage Strike from him. Puppey can't survive, not even with the regeneration of the Shrine. FATA's ticking down with SEC doing the work. YapzOr cannot regenerate through this. They at least find one, but it's only the Aegis, the Immortal on the Ursa. They're buying back. The pit is there from FATA, but SCCC, a triple kill from him. FATA is so worried. He is ulting from his tier 4 towers back to base. Cancels that, not needed. It'll go on cooldown, but NewB are ripping apart this mid lane, and Team Secret seem to have no answer at all. It's only a matter of time for NewB. Ace is baiting. Kaka, he wants to Burrow Strike. But they're looking for a better target, looking for the back, and they bait out the pit. Shackles into the Husker. They've got 2 seconds before the support, well, at least one of the supports is back, but I don't think NewB really care.
Kaka is hands down my MVP this game.
Oh, give that man a Mercedes.
He dodged so many spells this game. He has some excellent Burrow Strikes too. Hasn't been caught out.
That was one of the things I was kind of hoping going from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, it felt like NewB were just trying to counter or block pick Secret, like make sure they've just got the better advantage in lanes or draft, and then it just escalated badly in the later point. But in this game, it just feels like NewB have found the comfort heroes they want to have, and it all synergizes nicely and plays nicely against the Secret lineup. Even though it did look a little hairy for a bit, but when you start with the Shaman, you bring in Kaka as SK.
I wonder if they were like looking at that last pick, like, did they really just let us have Ursa? I think it was a trap.
Yeah. Oh, he got deleted. The BKB from Mugi gets burnt. And Secret standing next to their shrine to defend it. NewB don't have to care about this at all.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Right, is that actually okay? So the MKB for Ursa.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
The Husker can't stand. Legion Commander doesn't have enough damage to be threatening at all.
Even so, you still wouldn't be that useful versus the Ursa. Ursa will man up on Legion Commander any day of the week.
And now Kaka's got his own Halberd. He's got Blink heals Halberd. Burrow Strike forward, going after the pit lord. They're even jumping. They're looking for YapzOr in the back lines. They couldn't find him in game 1. In game 2, they're making it look too easy. Shackles holding FATA in position. He's not a part of this fight. The Nova is out. And FATA will fall. The epicenter as well. GG, well played. We're going to a third.
Damn, Kaka. Hope he earned some fans that game.
And you hope, as if you're a NewB fan right now, you're hoping the team's mentality is just happy. Like, they still seem to be pretty serious about it. But that is a lot better performance than game 2.